Okay, we are live. A few minutes early. Time for people to drop in and join us. Hopefully you guys are getting your notifications. I'm going to get logged in and then we will get started. Let's see. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. Hello, my friends. All right, so today, what did the beach say to the wave? Well, hi, Diane. Happy Wine Friday to you, too. I hope you're having wine. So I have to tell you guys, I was over at the PCC the other day, and this water was on sale. It's like in a metal can. Look at this. And then it says it's pink Himalayan rainwater, which means they added salt to the rainwater. That's what I seem to be drinking today because I don't have anything else in sight. So, but it's really weird to like buy the water in a can, it seems like. Okay. Now, I have to ask you, if anybody out there is a scientist, even if you're watching later, can you guys read this? It says, brilliant bottle. This BPA-free bottle can be reused and refilled with cold liquids for up to 30 days. Wash by hand with non-abrasive materials and recycle when finished. What do you think in this metal can with a screw top lid would wear out in 30 days? That kind of just throws me for a loop. I don't know, you guys. A 30-day time limit on the use of a metal container for water is a little bit odd, but it's probably why I should stick with wine. Okay, so today's joke. What did the beach say to the wave? Again, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We need some people with like good children's jokes. So, okay, so while we are we're going to get started. We're going to do a little project with some of the new Penny Black. We're just going to have a play because it just showed up today and I was so excited. So we're going to go through that. But actually, before we start with that, I'm going to show you what I pulled out of the Spellbinders box. Because this is new for them. And I'm kind of digging these. Okay. So we have 6 different 3D butterflies. Did I count 6? Yeah, I counted 6. Okay. So these ones are, I'm also going to give you guys a special price too. But, so these ones are only $3.99 a piece. That's, oh, Anne, hi Anne. Gosh, doggone it. You know what? Yesterday I said, set this aside. I've got to do this first thing in the morning. And then it all hit, in craziness. So I didn't forget about it. I just forgot to do it this morning. So it's here. I will pack it up. I'll pack it up before we finish today and drop it at the post office so that it gets out for you. I'm so sorry. Jeez. I know I was waiting for it and it came in and then, yeah, craziness. So I do apologize for that, but I'll get it out in the mail for you. Okay. So these guys are $4 a piece. And we have, this one is called Twilight Butterflies. And I'll open one of these so you guys can really see it here in a second. This one is called Sunrise. Okay. And it's really pretty. It's got like those corals, almost like those enamel dots we saw the other day. And then it has this really fun, like holographic shimmer to it. This one is called Misty Morning. This one is Moonlight. Summer Days. And Sunset Butterflies. This one has a little hint of orange. Okay. So, let me just see if I can crack one of these open so we can take a look. Oh, you guys, this is awesome, actually. So this back panel right here, this is going to be the sticker that adheres it. And then this dimensional piece is basically a printed acetate of what's behind it on the sticker. But it's folded and bent, so you get this dimension. However, because it's a folded plastic, it'll pop right back up. It'll have memory for that. But to put it in an envelope, you're going to get the dimension without the dimension. So that's actually really pretty fabulous. I was excited to see these in person. So we have them in stock. We have all 6 colors in stock. I couldn't make any decisions, honestly, when I was ordering them. So we have all 6 colors in stock, and they're $4 a piece. But if you can't decide either, hi there, Fonda, then we're going to do the whole bundle for $22. So there's a little bit of a savings there if you decide to get all of them. And I could kind of see how that would happen. So let me write that down. Okay. So I think these ones are going to be pretty popular because they are actually quite gorgeous. So, well, hi, Judy. All right. Now that we did the butterflies, let's talk about the new Penny Black. So also the joke that we're working on is, what did the beach say to the wave? And I'm hoping somebody has an answer. I have not looked at the back yet. I don't know what it is, but I'm apparently not good at really bad jokes. So when we get a new release of, hi Stephanie, you would like a bundle of the butterflies, right? For 22. So when we get a new release of Penny Black, whenever possible, we get, they call it a board program. So they do some really, really nice samples. I have to mount these on cards, but, they do these really nice samples, and then you have like a package bundle of stuff that you get, okay? So, these just showed up today, and we have quite a little stack of goodies to take a look at. Okay, so let's talk about, first off, because I am really, really excited about these. So, Penny Black hasn't done a ton of embossing folders, but these are, yeah. Okay, so they'll fit in your standard die cut machine, and, hopefully, can you guys still see me? Because I just got a waiting for signal. Yeah, I'm hoping you guys can still see me, okay? Let me see. Now, see, on my phone, it looks just fine. Can somebody just type in if you guys can see me? So, otherwise, if I have to restart. Oh, I just got green. The green screen. But my phone is looking fabulous. So, hold on. Let me try something here. You can see me. Okay, so you guys did lose me. All right. Okay, I just turned Wi-Fi off on my phone, so now we're going to be sending it through cell signal, which I'm hoping is a little bit better at the moment. Okay, so let's talk about this. We have 3 different embossing folders. I'm still getting green sometimes, but and they're $9.99 a piece for 6x6 folders. Here's what I love about these, which is really funny because the evolution of embossing folders, right, is they've kind of come and gone with how much detail. So we used to have these 2D embossing folders, and, you know, we were pretty happy about it. And then the technology changed. Are you guys still getting flashes of green on the screen? Because I am on my laptop, but I don't seem to be getting anything on my cell phone. So I hope that everything is going well. So you guys might just have to set a timer and check in every once in a while and be like, we can still see you. We can still see you. So I can just keep rambling. Anyways, so the technology has gotten such with embossing folders that they can create, okay, you guys aren't getting, that's so weird. Good though, good. Some amazing detail in the embossing folders. But that being said, oh good, okay, thank you guys, thank you. That being said, now it's become hard to find 2D embossing folders. And what's really fun about these ones from Penny Black is that, okay, let's take a look at this one here. So this one they used on this card. It's a 2D embossing folder, okay? But even the 2D is very, very distinct with the pattern. Let me move it a little bit closer so you can see. There we go. Very distinct with the pattern, but it is not even really deep like some of the 2D embossing folders. So it gives a nice texture, but it does not give a lot of height. And I really like this one. It kind of looks like a sewing pattern, but kind of not, right? And the pattern is small enough that it fits as a panel on a card like this. And it's, let me just move this up a little bit because there we go. And it's absolutely beautiful. So this one here is called All Over Stitches. Oh, well, I guess that would say they think it's a sewing pattern also. Okay, so that's All Over Stitches. And then we have this, we have this one, which actually, when you looked at these two here, it does look like the circles have a little bit more height to them. But even so, they're still relatively, am I super zoomed in or something? I don't know. Feels like it. Maybe that. Whoa, now you see everything. Let's not do that. Hide the magic, hide the magic. Okay. But, so you get this really cool texture, but you guys, take a look. Can you see the actual circles? Is that coming through? Maybe not, but let's do it on this one. The actual circles on here are not circles. They are a little bit, you can kind of see it on this one, cattywampus. And it's kind of going flat on this side over here. So you have full circles in 2D, which is fabulous for making cards, right? So is 3D, but I mean, sometimes we need that. And it's a very cool non-circle circle. So this one is called Rounded, and that one is $9.99. And then the last one, well, the third one we got in, this one is called Filigree. And so it has this cool like grid pattern in it. And then it just has this kind of little, I don't know, filigree? That's probably where they got the name. So, but you guys, I love it. It is so detailed for a 2D. So, I mean, those lines are so thin, right? So detailed, and yet not overly high. The reason that I think this is really important to note, that I am very excited about, is I am always on the lookout Why did I bring over 2 of the exact same ones? I have no idea. I am always on the lookout for embossing folders that will go with this style of cards because we have so many of these toppers. You guys are loving these toppers. They're crazy fun and easy to use and get those cards together. If you use this formula that I've used in the Bonanza card kits that we've done before, you put together quite a few of the cards just like that. And you've got your mat, you've got your coordinating sentiment, and then you just need like a little thin embossing folder to dress up that background. These are going to be amazing because they are actually not super dimensional, which is what you need as an embossing folder for cards like these. So if you love making these kind of cards, be sure to take a look at these new penny black embossing folders. Okay. So I just brought one of these over for reference. All right, now okay, does anybody have a guess? What did the beach say to the wave? I can't look until we get some guesses because I don't have any guesses. So, all right, let me try. I'm going to try one more thing here. Because you guys say you're not getting green, but I am getting like non-stop green. So let me close some stuff here. All right, what? Hang on a minute. This is, I have to kind of watch this on my laptop. Otherwise, I can't really tell, like, when I'm out of the screen as much. And I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing as opposed to me doing half of the video off of the screen. Okay. See, now I'm kind of high. Okay. So, we have those embossing folders. All right, let me move those out of the way. Didn't say anything. It just waved. Oh, bye-bye. Okay. Shall we look at the answer now? Do you guys think that's good guesses? All of those are good guesses. You sandy beach. I'm pretty sure. I think these are kids' jokes, so maybe not that. if beach is in reference to, So, okay. So I think... Yeah, I think these are mostly new. What I was told, because they send us like the sentiments they use on the cards and stuff too. Delightful Day. This is one we've had in before, okay? This sentiment sheet or this sentiment stamp set. But I do think that this might be one that is on one of the sample cards over there that people keep asking us about. So, you may not have it yet. I don't know. And then we do have a new sentiment. But let's go through what we've got here. Now, only after the box arrives do we get a notification that they sent it with a couple things missing. So we're going to try and figure this out and then sort of just go from there. Okay? So this one right here, this kind of cool foliage looking thing, this is called Dignified. Now, if you are a fan of Penny Black, you already know that their names for their dies make no sense at all. Okay, so if there's certain ones that you want, grab a pen and paper and make some notes because it will be very hard otherwise to know which ones to grab. So this one is called Dignified, and this is actually the one in this card here. What they did is, you see this piece? So they snipped it right here, basically, and then they just made it so that it's coming right out of the vase like that, and then used another little part up here. So really clever. In ones like this, you actually have quite a bit more option than just, the one die design that they have. So Dignified is $17.99. And then I believe this guy is probably these two right down here. This one is called Refresh, and it is $18.99. Okay. Let me find the other one that I need to show you for this card. Okay. And then this one is called Tall Flowers. So there's another sample of that one there. I do like, well, nope, I was going to say I do like that they put samples on the backside, but the first two they didn't. So just this one, you know. So $24.99, but you've got these really cool tall flowers that are going to be fantastic. Well, one for this vase, but also for putting into, like, you know, designs where you need something to kind of like give it some, you know, some elevation. So I think this is going to be actually a really, really fun one. For the record, this one is older. And so this one they probably sent us based on the vase right there, but it does look like this one has been out before, but I don't know that we actually had this one in, unless it came with a board. Okay, so next up, we've got this one, and I think this one is pretty cool. So I am totally digging this background. Look at this. So cool, because this one is called Shiplap Hexagon, and $14.50 on this one. This is actually, so this one must have come out before too, because they have it as a Christmas sample in 23 sometime. So it's not very old, but what a cool design. So as simple as this is, right? You've got a couple of the flowers, a couple of foliage, everything's watercolored, and then you have just the embossing folder, like a seal the edge kind of a strip, and that's it, you guys. So these are stunning penny black card samples that really are not super hard to put together. Okay, so it's absolutely fabulous. I love the little detail in there. I just think that is really, really neat. So that one is $14.50. And then we have Flower Family. Okay, well, that makes a bit of sense, I guess. So, you know, you just pick a few, make a center, color the stem, and bam, you're all good to go. Okay, $17.99 on that one. And that one's got nice long stems too, so you can kind of do the design. And this, so this is fabulous. I was going to say I thinks this is eucalyptus, but they called it Ascending. I don't know if it's eucalyptus because I'm kind of not very good at that, but so I mean, easy, you guys, right? Easy. And if you have the Pouncers, even easier. So there's that one. This one is called Ascending, and it's $14.99. Now the wrong one. Here we go. The penny black, when they come out with frame dies, these are always popular. So this frame one is $27.99, and you get 3 different sized frames in here. Okay, this biggest one will fit on the A2, but look at that crazy cool embossed design that goes in there. I mean, these are just beautiful. Okay, so $27.99, and then this last one. All right, so when I look at this one, like this die, I'm like, I don't know. But when you think about what you can do with a die like this, so you can do dip techniques, you can do splatters, you can do all kinds of things. You could put a layer of newsprint in here. You could stamp on the image and have some cool designs. A flower like this, where most of the design of the flower is actually up to you, can actually be really, really fun to play with. So this is a very simple version of that flower, and it's just 3 pieces. So easy to put together, and it's just a little bit of color with some color shading on it. So this guy is called Layered Blooms. It's $13.50. Now, there are 2 things that we are missing from this release according to my invoice. Okay, so that should have been on this thing. So this tall guy is right here. The watering can is one of them. And then the other one is called like Tall Flowers or something like that. But maybe that wasn't it. Yeah, Tall Flowers is right here. Now I'm confused because I then also thought maybe this one was, I don't know. So all I know is of that guy. And then, so Delightful Day is the one we've had before that I know a lot of people have asked for. Okay. So the Penny Black sentiments are really fabulous. They stamp amazing. And they have these like fun, different font mixtures kind of built in. That's $18.99. And then this is the new one. Brighten the World. Someone is thinking of you, and that would be me. I actually really like that. That's pretty awesome. And then, let's see. My heart and your heart are very old friends. Or, if I actually read it, it would say your heart and my heart are very old friends. You guys, it is the end of a Friday. All right. So this one is Brighten the World, and that one's $18.99. All right. So these are all here. Let's give it a play. Okay. So initially, when we sat down, we thought, oh, well, this will be fun. Let's recreate this card. Okay. But then we realized we don't have the watering can. So then I thought, all right, let's do something a little different. Let's kind of do, I want to do this one because I think that background is fabulous. And then we will just kind of do a couple of these flowers and sort of see, you know, see what we want out of that. But I really like this one, and I really like this guy. So what I did is I grabbed, because I don't 100% know what I want to do, right? So I grabbed some watercolor paper to cut the flowers out of, because I thought that if I decide to do something, you got it, Judy. I figured you might be excited about a new sentiment. And so, let me see if I can get this off here. Yeah. All right, so I've got that one, and I'll die cut this. Let me run this one through real quick. My switch hasn't gotten moved back to this filming table yet. It's still sort of over on the other one, so I just have to do the manual for today. Hi. You know, these sample cards, hi, thanks for joining us. Is it Elaine or Eileen? I know people kind of say it both ways, but these actually came from Penny Black. So when they do a new release, they give us the option of ordering these sample cards, and oh my gosh, thank goodness, right? So based on these sample cards, we are going to die cut some flowers out of watercolor paper and then do some sort of a hodgepodge of these. But I'm really excited. And you know, Penny Black, they have a real specific style about them. Really nice. Nothing is too difficult. Well, some of those painted ones are a little bit harder, but the scenes. But like when they do these kind of things, they're not difficult to put together. They just are very, very pretty. But I mean, who wouldn't love to get a card that looks like that, right? So okay, let me do kind of like that. Probably should have put both of these dies on here together because I sort of just ran out of paper for the stem of one of these. But it is what it is. Okay. Alrighty. Yep, that'll work. So when I was talking about I ran out of paper, it was the stem here, so that's fine. It's going to be a little shorter. No biggie. No biggie at all. All right. So, I don't know if I have enough pressure. I probably should have checked that. This one will be okay. I'm cutting through, I'm using my old crank machine that's sitting right here, and I'm cutting through a thicker watercolor paper. So, but it looks like, with the exception of this one little section, that it cut out pretty good. Okay, so let me toss this one right back on. And so for those of you guys that are a little bit newer to die cutting, one of the things that can happen sometimes when you're doing your die cuts, especially ones with these really detailed sections, is that it can not cut all the way through. So you can turn it over and you can see that you've got a good portion of this cut, but then when you look at the lines like right here, you can see that it's almost more of like a dent on the backside than an actual cut. So this is easily fixable, okay? So I don't have to throw this away. I got out the ones that came out easy just so I don't have any mishaps. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my die and those blades, I'm just going to notch them right back into place because they just kind of fit snugly where they belong, okay? These ones I don't have to worry about. I mean, they are going to automatically notch into place, but this is the one that I just need to do a little bit more cutting on that flower side. So I'm going to notch it into place, and then I'm going to tape it, and I'm going to do my best to not have it move on me when I go to put it down, and fingers crossed. Yep, there we go. So just like that, we should be good now with our die. Okay, so if ever it doesn't cut through, any dies, really, you can kind of just nestle them right back onto the top of the paper and get them right back into place, and they should at least roll through in the same spot, and given more pressure, should be okay. All right. So the two dies we're using are the Refresh, which I believe is this one, and the Layered Bloom, which is that guy. Okay, I'm going to move these out of the way for a minute because I think I might just be making a wee bit of a mess, but I don't know. All right, so here is my thought. Let me get this one die cut too so we have it. What color scheme should we go with? Now, for those of you guys that know me, probably know what color I might choose if left to my own accord. Let me do it on this one and see. I think I have an idea what colors I want to do. And you guys can decide if you're on board or not. But I think today we are going to go with, what do you think about a turquoise and an orange? I mean, why not, right? Seems pretty. Seems like a good plan. Okay. All right. So now this one, I just found a package of the Sizzix white cardstock. It's like such a good price for a bunch of sheets of cardstock. We have it in stock, but I just found one in my bookcase. So I thought, let's try this today and see how it takes ink. So these guys are watercolor. This one is the Sizzix cardstock. And I'm just going to go back in there before I make an even bigger mess, which is possible. I'm going to run out of room. Okay. So if we're going with turquoise and orange, I think first what I'm going to do is grab my Pouncers and give this a little bit of color to kind of get started. So I've got an orange Pouncer and I've got a turquoise Pouncer. And then we get to pick, well, hi, Lori. We get to pick some colors. So I'm thinking for, shall we do a turquoise backdrop and orange flowers, or an orange background and turquoise flowers? That is the decision that we need to make. So let me know what you guys think. And I'm looking for a couple colors here that didn't seem to get away. This one and pumpkin, cannot go wrong with that. And all right, so I just grabbed a range of these guys. So we're gonna just see where today takes us. Now, because my Pouncers, so I have the mini Pouncers, I think I'm gonna grab the big Pouncers too, because the big Pouncers are nice for doing coverage. The little Pouncers are nice for doing details. So what I want is, if we're going with that color scheme, I'm still gonna need green, right? And I am also going to need the teal and the orange. So let me think this through. I think I want to do teal on this guy. I think that's going to be nice. Yeah. Okay. So for the teal, I wasn't 100% sure. So when you have your Pouncers at home, or your brushes or something like that, you kind of know a little bit more about what colors may or may not be in there. But I always like to sort of get the color to where I want if I'm starting with a light color like this. And so in order to clean it, you could wash these, but they're going to take a while to dry. Oh, what was the answer to the riddle? Where did the riddle go? Oh, here we go. Good question. Okay. So what did the beach say to the wave? Oh, that's a good one. Long tide, no sea. And none of us guessed it today. Oh my gosh. Oh, that one is a good one, actually. Okay. So I'm going to start with a base of cracked pistachio for no particular reason other than I think I want to. So I'm going to pick up some of this cracked pistachio and just get it into my Pouncer and then try to clean it out a little bit. So because you can see what color was here earlier, right? When I reactivate, because they're all water reactive inks, right? The dye inks, the distressed dye inks. So when I reactivate it with this cracked pistachio, then it's kind of reactivating whatever other color was in there so that we can pull them out. Oh, you're going to love them. Oh my gosh. Yes, the Pouncers are freaking awesome. They are the solution to a problem we didn't even know we had until there was a solution. So, okay, so that one is kind of green enough because we're really going for teal, but this is just kind of to give us a little bit of a base color so that we can go from there, okay? Now, this particular one here, I 100%, this die cut, could use the brushes or even the foam applicators on. It is when we get into these that the Pouncers are really, really going to come to light as to why they are so freaking awesome. Okay. And, honestly, this would have been a good one to use the big Pouncer on because it would go a lot faster. And actually, I didn't mean to bend that, but actually it might even be a little bit smoother. But when the ink kind of settles into the paper and dries, it will get a little bit more even. That just kind of happens with the dye inks, okay? So now just as a reminder, I am using regular distress inks. You do not want to use and go between colors, okay? You do not want to use your oxides or like metallic pigment inks, that kind of thing, because you can contaminate your pads as you go back and forth. So just dye inks for the Pouncers. And then, let's see. We may come back as we get these things, you know, kind of colored in a little bit. Oh, that is kind of a nice color. And actually, you know what? I think, hang on a minute, friends. I am going to grab a different tool. I want to do... So, you know, different tools for different things, right? So the Pouncer for this one, remember I was saying you could use the big one, you could use any of them. The Pouncer's fine for this one for just laying down a color. When we get to this one, these kind of dyes where they're really thin and delicate, that's where the Pouncers really like want to be the specific choice. But for this one, I'm actually going to try this guy and see, because what I want is I want it a little darker on the edges, faded into the center, but I also want these lines to have some accents with the ink. So I'm going to pick up some color, pull out some color, because I want it to not be super crazy until I know that I'm ready for that color. Okay. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Hi. Hey. And then once I get this ink on here, I will show you. We are going for a turquoise and orange.
Hello.
Yeah, right? So I'll show you kind of what I meant by... What do you think? Hmm?
Another brick in the wall.
Another brick in the wall? So I laid down cracked pistachio first to give us a little bit of a base and kind of just a little different color. Oh, are you getting me a chocolate? Oh, okay, thanks. He says, no, not really. Okay, so this is how that turned out. And I actually really like it. So by using the foam, okay, what I'm getting is darker edges, and it tends to catch the ink on those little accent areas a little bit more, okay? So I think that actually is the right choice for this particular one. And so I'm going to go backwards just a little. This is not the way I normally do my circles, but then it kind of catches in the other direction. So you can see, like, see right here how it's a little bit darker. Can you see that? I'm hoping. When I go backwards with my circle, it gets the other direction. So that's what I was doing. Now we're going to set this off to the side and let it kind of settle in and dry. Let's move to the orange. Hand me a spray bottle real quick so I can clean up the blue before we go to the orange. Thank you. Okay. So, do you want to come help with the flowers?
You send me over here?
Huh?
You sent me over here?
I don't know what. Are you just mumbling at me? Distress and okay. There's pigment inks and there's dye inks, but pigment dye inks are kind of like, they're a hybrid ink. So my general rule for if you aren't sure if your ink is like a dye ink or a pigment ink is if you put it on black and it shows up, then you probably don't want to use it with the Pouncers where you go from color to color to color. Because if it shows up on black, that means it's got some opaqueness to it, and that will transfer to your other ink pads and contaminate it. Dye inks, which these are, as are Alta New inks, Simon Hurley inks, Pink Fresh inks, a lot of dye inks out there.
What's an example of a pigment, pigment? Like who makes it?
The oxides.
Ah, but who else makes it pigmenty?
I will tell you.
Okay.
You ready to know?
Yeah.
It was a good question. These ones are pigment inks. So a lot of times they'll tell you, because that isn't, the testing on black isn't always the only thing. Because if I take this one, and these are beautiful, but, oh, well, yeah, nope, that's a good test. I just don't think I've ever used it on black. But so see how you can actually see the colors show up? That means there's something to it, right, that is showing up on black, and that will contaminate your pads. So just in general, I'd stay away from it.
So do that one.
You want me to do this one?
That's the one that shouldn't show up, right?
Right. See?
Ah.
But let me go grab the cracked pistachio over here, assuming I can find it. Big difference, right? Okay. So, yeah, Prima dye inks should be fine. Yes. Okay. So just take a look, and it should say dye inks on it, but honestly, I don't even know if these ones do. Acid-free, fade-resistant. Oh, dye inks. It's in really little print, but it's there. And then this one says water reactive dye and pigment ink fusion. So that's kind of, it's just kind of a quick test. That doesn't mean you can't use them. It just means you don't want to use them with a tool that you're going to use between the colors, okay? I use them with these all the time, and then you try to keep a foam for each color, or you have to wash it. All right, so let's get into the flowers. All righty, so I'm going to get the greens. I have a couple of ideas. Oh, port. I forgot it was a port day. You got it. You got it. You're welcome. Okay, so I grabbed a couple of oranges. This is actually a really great thing if you have those blending sets from Alta New or Pink Fresh too, because all of the variations are in there. But the Ripe Persimmon, this one is going to be my little accent color at the end to see how we like that. And then I think we're going to start with Dried Marigold. This is the lightest color of the oranges in the Distress line. So there's not a ton of color in here, so I don't really worry too much about cleaning that out. It actually looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is going to just take these. Now, Pouncers, you want to go just straight up and down, okay? Now, remember, this is on watercolor paper because I have every intention of getting this sucker wet. I don't know if I will, but the ink sits differently on watercolor paper than it does on regular paper. So actually, I might have my other half here die cut me these flowers in regular paper too, so we can do a quick test. Did you hear that I was summoning you? Yeah. Okay. So this is the other one, and I'm just, with this color, I'm just giving it like a light, you know, a light color base and not being too particular about what we're doing. But so watercolor paper. This paper is, you know, it's something we've all used, but it is designed so that the color and the water sits on top and doesn't absorb in. Let's see. Blending brushes separated for different inks. Okay, so that's a good question, Lori. And so when you say Sukaneko ink pads, which Sukaneko is a brand? So what are the ink pads from them? That's like saying Ranger ink pads. Like these are Ranger, but so are Simon Hurley's and things. So if you tell me which Sukaneko ink pads, we could maybe delve into that. Okay, so out of this paper, which is the Sizzix paper, will you cut me, oops, oh, sorry, this one? All right, so now we've got a nice little base on here, and he's going to cut it out of that Sizzix paper so we can kind of do a little bit of a comparison. Now, just because, okay, there's a number of things that we can do at this stage. We can take our water, because it's on watercolor paper, and we can just do a light spritz, okay? And take our paper towel and dab some of that off. And what you'll get is, I only did one layer, okay? So it's, and it actually, we didn't get a ton of droplets, but you'll start to get these little droplets that give you a variation in the ink. So I'll do this again, just to get a little bit, and kind of like that. Okay. Could you also set it so that the heat tool is, well, you can. Some watercolor papers are thicker than others. The one that I have here is the Ranger watercolor paper, and it works great with Thinlits. So I would say just give it a try. You're more, you're really not likely to damage your die. It just may or may not go through. And so there is a number of different types of ways you can also sort of assist it if need be. Okay, so we've got the base color. Now I'm gonna go, because I am sort of loving the, ooh. I'm just looking at the stem on this guy. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to do kind of a comparison for you guys here, because these are the same flowers and we're going to do the same inks, just so you can kind of see what the difference is. And it may turn out that we like this one better. I don't know, because I have no idea where I'm going. So sometimes then, you find yourself in a surprise place. But already you can see that the color's different, and that has to do with it blending and absorbing more into the paper, because it's a different type of a paper. So you have different options. Now we could have also done a whole background and die cut the flowers out of, okay, so Ranger Archival Ink Pads, that's a good question. So Ranger Archival Ink Pads, those are an alcohol-based solvent ink. I tend to use those. They stamp really well on glossy surfaces. You have to have either archival ink or like a StazOn to stamp on glossy surfaces, like a paper you would do an alcohol ink on background. Oh, well, it's Wine Friday, so he'll help. Some days, if you join us again, some days he actually will craft. Yeah. And so there are some videos on our Facebook page too that he did crafting, and some of them are pretty funny. So with the archival ink pads, this is how once you get familiar with remembering that archival ink from Ranger is a solvent oil-based ink that's good for stamping on glossy surfaces, that will tell you that you do not want to use it with your brushes, okay? Because the brushes have little bristles, and those bristles are plastic, which is a glossy surface, and exactly what that ink is designed to stay put on. So no brushes for archival. You can use these if you want to. I'll be honest, there's lots of stuff out there that is good for blending. Archivals are maybe mediocre at best, but you can do it. Use one of these and probably just dedicate it to that color of archival, because you'd have to wash it out. It's oil based, so you don't want to contaminate your other ink pads. So archival, just keep those for themselves, because those ones are a relatively unique one. Now, if you're into Better Press, Better Press also is an archival ink. It's an archival ink derivative. So you would want to do the same kind of precautions with that one. Okay, so let's see here. So this is the spiced marmalade that looks oddly like a container of Rusty Hinge, but okay, so this is so fun, you guys. I am going to hold these up for you guys to see, because it's really interesting. Now, I did not actually spray these, but look at how smooth on the regular paper. After the Pouncers, it just smoothed right out. This is the Sizzix paper. I have not used this much, but I actually really like it. Now, because the ink was sitting so much on top and we had a really fine mist with a couple of little droplets, this one has a very, very cool, let me see if I can get this in close enough for you. Really cool texture on it. Can you see that? And so this one is totally smooth. What I didn't do is spray those guys with water and then wipe it off. So we might have to do that. But in the meantime, let's try doing just sort of a little bit of a dip technique. And now what we're going to do is get that junk out of there. So if you haven't done this technique before, it's super easy, super fun. And all you do is you dip it in for one layer, and then you're going to dry it. And you're going to start building up layers. Do you think you could grab me maybe like a mustard seed to add a little bit of maybe brightness? What? No regular. And the fun part about this is you just kind of have to tell yourself you're going to sit down and give it a go, okay? So, thanks, honey. Because if you like it, great. If you don't, it's just paper and you could throw it in the garbage, okay? So I'm going to give it another little dip, and depending on how you dip, that is how you get these cool... Can you come over and just maybe start drawing while I do some of this? Is that okay? All right, and while he's doing that, I'm going to put down some yellow. So this is mustard seed, and I just want to see what this looks like on the watercolor. Oh, you guys, look at that. Oh, that is so gorgeous. I'm loving that. Okay, and we're going to add more colors as we go. So I'm still doing the, yes, this is fabulous. I don't even know. Did I spray that? I think I did, but. Okay. But you'll notice I'm just kind of lightly touching it in because I do want layers, and it's already a die cut. So I want it to give me kind of a speckled effect as he is in between drawing these. So I'll just set the wet ones on my laptop, okay? What'd you do? Okay. Road trip.
No.
Are you sure?
Oh my
It's
God.
funny.
Is it?
It's funny. Okay. I'm going to hand this over to you.
No.
Well, I can't go over there. Okay. It's Wine Friday. Now, he's not crafting, but I did hand him the things to die cut, or to dry. So, this was the, just so you guys know, this is the dry station that he chose to do. And this is the dry station effect. So, it smells a little bit like singed fabric in here. And Maybe don't do this at home. I still have more stuff for you to dry, though. You know you can just hold it by that really long stem, right? Yeah. So, alrighty. All right, have a great night. Chat with you later. Okay, so he's going to keep drying stuff. And as this one, look at how cool that is, you guys. It's awesome. So again, we're still on the watercolor paper. So now I'm going to add in a little bit more of that orange and then probably just give this back to him because that looks awesome to dry. Now, let's do this. While we're kind of deciding what we want to do, I'm going to take this one here, which is the regular paper, and I'm going to put it and just do a little bit of a spritz, and then we will pull this off, and I'll show you kind of what the difference is, because it really does make a big difference as to the paper, because this paper absorbs water like a sponge. So the effect that we get for this one versus this one, you can see, hopefully you can see. So like, see how much more the water affected, then don't go too far. I need you to do a couple more, but I just want to show you guys. So this is regular cardstock. This is watercolor cardstock. So because the color sits on top, that water is able to pull out more. And here the water just immediately soaks into the paper. So, you're going to get more of those kind of like water spots. So that's kind of the difference. So that being said, let's do one here with the yellow. Okay. And this one here with a little bit of yellow. Oh God, that yellow is really adding a good touch. Okay. Now I've got this beautiful flower right here. And then I have this one. I need to do the centers in order for this flower to work. Okay. And the trick is you don't want the ink to be even. That's how we're getting this incredible effect. So now that I'm going to hold this up for you guys, you'll be able to see so much more is going on. Oh, it's awesome. It is fantastic. Okay. And then this one has a little bit more color, kind of. So I want just a little bit more speckle in there. Thank you. And then we're going to throw a little bit of yellow in this one. Just a little bit. Okay. And a little bit of yellow in this one. All right. Now, so this is really, you guys, this is where the difference between the paper is coming to fruition, because the effect we're getting on the regular cardstock versus what we get when it sits on top and can dry in little batches, you know, little droplets, because it doesn't soak in, is a whole different effect. Okay. Neither is wrong nor, you know, wrong or right. It just is, it is what it is. So, okay. So now I'm going to put a little bit of this on. We're going to do just a wee bit. Okay. I don't know that that was even quite enough, but thank you. That one. I don't want a ton, right? I just want a little bit of color on there to just give me something. Oh, you guys, this is so pretty. Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Those
Thank
two.
you.
This one.
Yep.
And that one.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. And you can add more ink, but I'm just kind of moving us along here. And then actually this is a perfect example. Now that'll fade and blend a little bit more as he gets it dry, but you can see that darker color just immediately soaked in and made a very distinctive mark for, now I just need a little bit more orange on these, and then we're good to put on some green and call it. Okay. That one. know, it's like little, huh? Okay, and then this one. Okay, so that is going to be perfect. I think that'll be great for those ones. I'm going to clean up my inks, and I could dab some of these others, but just for today, I'm going to clean it up, and I just need this one then. That's the last one. Okay. So now I'm going to take my little, what I would consider red, but I grabbed the Ripe Persimmon, which is kind of a red-orange, and if you're going to use the red on this, you want to try and get it out if you want that orange effect. But you guys, we have so many beautiful flowers. Now, this one is paper, this one is the watercolor, and we also have this one right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this and test my color because it's, you know, it's kind of red, so I don't want to go crazy, but there's a couple things I'm going to do is I want to get some color sort of in that center area, okay? A nice bold color. Now this is going to get covered just a little, but that, see, gives some contrast to the next layer of the flower. So I'm just going to get a little bit of color right in here so that we have kind of a red center. And then on here, I don't know what I want to do. I really don't because, I don't know. We'll just see. I'm going to take this and just very lightly kind of give it an edge so that it stands out a little bit. Okay. And yeah, that's going to, oh my gosh, this is going to be beautiful. So let's see. This one is going to go about like so. And then we need that little tiny piece. Here we go. Okay. And this little tiny piece, I think we might actually want to add a little bit more red to that because just for some variation. All right. Now, before I get too far, let me grab this here green one and add some color to the stem, which is not that one. Oh, that's kind of... So sometimes when you have a color and you don't want it very dark, you can just use what was left over in the pouncer, and then you can go back and grab, you know, whatever else you had on your desk to kind of mix and match the colors. So I wanted it a little bit limier, but I don't have the lime on the, the table, of course, because, you know, why would I have grabbed that? And so I'm going to just, yeah, that looks good. Now I'm going to take it a little bit and kind of bend the flower just so we have a little bit of dimension. I'm going to also take this one and bend it up. Oh, I hope you win. I hope you win at bingo, Susan. You're probably already gone by now, but okay. So this particular flower, what's nice, it looks really weird as a die cut, but what those things are doing is they're telling you where this piece goes, okay? So I'm going to grab some adhesive, maybe. There we go. I'm just going to use a little bit of foam because, you know, why not? All right. And so here's the thing. If I want this to stick to this, I need to heat dry it. My heat dryer has kind of walked off. That's you, Bubs. So I'm going to call him back because even though this feels dry, the resins in the ink will still be wet, and it'll make it so that my little foam tape won't stick that well. So I'm going to give him these to dry, and that way when I go to stick them together, they're going to do a lot better. So, and then this one, I'll just curl. It is a random flower. I have no idea what flower it is. So we're going to just, you know, make it any shape. Now we've got these guys. I am loving this one. And this one also is cool because it's the same but different, right? So what I'm going to do is grab a little bit of red. I don't want a ton because I have a lot of really great detail in this one. but I do want it to have a bit of a flower center. So I'm just kind of using the edge of the pouncer and then these two. Yeah, thank you. And on this one, I want to kind of see if I can get a little bit of that yellow back in there. Because this one has a lot more yellow, which I'm really digging. Okay, so I'm going to take and do a little bit more of a bright yellow center. And we're going to call that good, okay? Don't need much more than that. I'm fine with that. But I do need lids everywhere. Everywhere. I think we need a citron, twisted citron. I had to kind of think that one through. Okay, so he's going to grab me the twisted citron, and in the meantime, I'm going to put down just a wee bit of color on the stem, and we're almost done. So, do you want to pick one of those embossing folders and roll us through a panel?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. These are your choices. And we're kind of making that flower and the one that's on the hexagon, this one. We've got the hexagon, but we're doing those other flowers just for fun. Okay. So as we have cracked pistachio, now twisted citron. Because they're both really light, I'm not worried about cleaning this out. I just want that twisted citron to give this much like a more vibrant, bright stem. And no, that white paper I gave you that you cut the one flower out of, that'll be enough.
Is it?
Is that all that's left?
Yeah.
It was like an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
You need more?
No, just because we'll just do a little border at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here is this guy. So we've got this one dry now. This is a great time too if you want to add glitter or something like that. This is a good time for that. And I want my liquid glue. So I'm going to try something. You guys know that the engineer in me gets really excited when I decide I'm going to try something. So what I did is I put a little bit of foam on the backside, and I'm going to just cut this one corner off, although I should have probably gotten significantly smaller scissors. Okay. So now, in essence, I kind of gave it an angle. Not much, though. I think different scissors would be better. So I'm going to take and put just a little bit of glue right down here, because what I want to do is try to get, I don't know if this is going to work. So I don't really know if I cut it enough, but I want to get it so that it kind of stands out like a flower. Okay. I might have had to cut it more, but that's okay. Let me give that a minute. Let that set. Okay. And I think this needs to go down just a little bit, though. Yeah. There we go. Thanks, Bubs. All right, and then this one, I'm going to take that little bit of, I don't know that that's going to actually make any difference. It is not thick. Perfect. Oh, wait a minute. Is it? Is it though? I think you should look at that embossed design. See what you think.
Faded out, didn't it?
Yeah. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Did you roll it all the way through?
It's probably not full. How much you want to use this?
Can you just in that blue container down there is the 8.5 by 11. that I was using. That's funny. How much do you want to use this? Well, I did. All right. We're just in the tail end here. So I'm going to take my foam strips, which you guys know that I love, and I'm going to cut this one right in half height-wise. If I had a thin foam handy, that would actually be a little bit easier than what I just did, but a lot easier actually. Okay, so I'm going to stick this on here, just like so. That was not on there straight at all, was it? Nope. And stick a dollop right there and call it good. See if this is going to even work. Okay. All right. So we've got a little bit of dimension on this one. Now we've got these two. He's working on the embossed panel, but what we're going to do is just kind of arrange these. And we may not end up using all of them. I don't really know, right? But actually, I really like that. That might just be where I end. Although this one is gorgeous too, but I'm quite digging that. So, let's see what he brings us. How did it do? Do you want me to just finish it off camera? Okay. Here, let me do the cutting so that I have. Yeah, I just need. This is fine. I need the little guillotine trimmer. Can you hand me? Yeah. Can you hand me that one? Okay, we're almost done. Okay, so I'm going to do, I need a card base out of this and a little strip of paper. Okay, pretty please? Okay, is that the Sizzix paper?
Yeah.
That's Sizzix. Okay, what size is it? Okay.
Something.
6 by something? Pretty fabulous. Thanks. All right. I got a 6 by something piece of paper. We don't actually know what he gave us here. So let's fold it and see what we got. It's not scored. It's not anything, but we're going to make it a go. We're wigging it. What do you think about that? Oh, pretty good. Right? Mm-hmm. Definitely not the right size, but so we've got this. I need a little thin piece of, is that the same paper? Yes. So to make the seam of this one, we just are going to take and put little tiny bit right there. I actually really, really love that accent on this card because it just makes that finished part when you have this on here all that much better. Now, sometimes you are working with something that isn't quite as perfect as, oops, right, 4 1/8 is what he ended up giving me. So let's just trim this down. That side looks pretty good. Let's trim this down to 4 1/8 so that it'll fit on that card. We should be able to glue this down once I straighten it and call it pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna glue this right down here. It's just simple like that, and then that one piece, oh, it's right there. Stick that over there, and we're almost there. I'm gonna forego the sentiment for today. Because, you know, you guys can see those on the samples, but we'll get this one done. Okay. All right. Then to put this one on, what I'm going to do is you can cut this to size, or you can take it and you can just run some glue along here. And then you can put it over the seam of where you want it to go. Can you guys see? Okay. It's a lot of white, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry about that. Just like so. And then flip it over and cut that off. Good. Okay. So now, when we put this one right here, okay, we can actually cut that. Remember when this one was too short? Doesn't even matter anymore, right? Does not even matter. So we can do this, and then what I'll probably do, which I didn't do ahead of time, and I'm not gonna, go back into it, is I want a little bit of greenery, I think, for this. But this is how this will turn out. We can put this as a little bow or something like that. This color scheme is gorgeous. With a sentiment, I might actually even switch this one up and put a die cut sentiment on in that same blue and orange color. I love it. So, okay, you guys, I'm calling it a day. We have been playing with this for a while, and I'm going to tell you, actually really easy, really fantastic. So, loving these flowers. Even this one has so much dimension, right? Look at how cool that is. Just awesome. And so, if instead we wanted to make this one more of the star, look at that. Oh, with a little bit of like a greenery or something like that. That might be the winner too. Now I just don't know. Oh, okay. So I will finish it with a sentiment and post a picture. But you guys, I hope you had a really good time crafting with me today. I've got a bit of a hot mess. I'm going to do a quick review just because there was so much stuff we covered. Okay. So at the very, very beginning, we talked about the brand new butterflies from Spellbinders. There are 6 different ones. They're $4 a piece. Thanks, Diane. So we've got Summer Day butterflies, Moonlight butterflies, Misty Morning, Sunrise, Twilight, and Sunset. And so $4 a piece. You can pick the colors you like, or get the bundle of all 6 for $22. So there's a savings in there, and they're all really, really good. We have 3 embossing folders to choose from. We have the one called Rounded, $9.99, Filigree, $9.99, and then the one that we used, which I think is somewhere across the table, so I don't remember the name, but something like Stitches or something. Really subtle but pretty detailed, and $9.99 on that. And then we have all of these new dies. So this is called Dignified. I'm trying to have the samples here so you can see also, in case you missed the first part. So Dignified is the foliage right here. That one's $17.99. This, love it. Absolutely love it. It was so easy to create that background. $14.50. This one is called Shiplap Hexagon. This is that cool flower right here. Really awesome when you start to play with it. Okay, so cool if you like to do mixed media. That one's Layered Blooms. I have lost the bag for this one at the moment, so I don't know what the price is on that, but it is at the beginning. The frames, this is the one that's going to emboss that detail. It is $27.99. We have Ascending. So this is the one that I think looks a little like eucalyptus, but maybe not. And that one's $14.99. These really fun, kind of whimsical flowers are Flower Family at $17.99. And then the tall flowers that has that cool vase that you can put a whole bunch of stuff in is $24.99. And then we have the 2 sentiments. Brighten the World is the new one. Delightful Day is a restock of one we've had before, but a lot of people have also asked for it. So that, my friends, is what we had to show you today. I hope you had fun. Thank you for joining me, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye.